change the odds for every bookmaker in the country.
Tell them to bring me my money.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Dollar, dollar.
What up, everybody? The Gritty Gamblers are back in the building, ready to make you some dollars. What up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good, Parlay Joe, man. Doing good. We here back on this Monday on the eve of UFC 300, man. I'm excited. We got a lot to cover today, a lot to get into. But first, before we get into our betting coverage and the weekend recap, shocking news in college basketball last night, Parlay. I mean, phew, I thought I was reading make believe when it first came out. To be honest with you, I still kind of. I mean, I get it why it happened, but it doesn't make sense why. Like, so breaking down, and we're talking in codes right now. John Calipari is going to be within the next 24 hours your new head coach at the University of Arkansas. Yep, you heard that right, John.
Is.
Huh?
He already is.
Oh, is it official now? He signed?
Well, he hasn't signed, but
it's a 5-year deal. I know the contract figures are out too.
5-year deal, $8 million.
Yeah, the contract figures are out. I was just saying like what I read last night when it first came out. What?
Kentucky big man Aaron Bradshaw is expected to enter the NCAA transfer portal.
He's a Cal guy, isn't he? He's going to Arkansas. That's hilarious. But nah, man. Just to get into it, I still couldn't believe it. I mean, all the back roads make sense. He's close friends with John Tyson, the booster, one of the main boosters at Arkansas. He also has backing from Walmart in the Waltons. So
I don't think anyone saw this coming, though.
No, not at all. Not at all. And this is the only way.
I was going around the mad spaces last night.
This is the only way Calipari gets out of Kentucky this year. This is the only way. He was supposed to coach Kentucky. If he does, like, I feel bad for the Kentucky fan base and the AD. Well, the fan base don't really care. I'm not talking about the AD more because the AD looks stupid.
I would have fired him.
The AD don't. But here's the thing: the difference is the only thing the fan base is happy about is they don't have to pay that $33 million.
Exactly. They only got to pay 16.
They don't have to. It's offset. They don't got to pay much at all. I don't think it's nearly that.
It's 18.
It's 18?
Whatchamacallit got to pay 12. Arkansas has to pay 12.
Oh, okay.
Is what I know that. I know that as well. What I was told last night.
So pretty much, yeah, they're paying 12 of that 18, right?
12 of the 30.
Oh, okay. Wait, that doesn't make sense. All right, no, I think it should be more than that because I think it gets a full offset. I think in Calipari's contract he has a full offset. I read it recently. He has a full offset where they get out of it.
Oh,
Kentucky.
Well, I don't know. I was told Arkansas is paying 12 to get to buy out.
I don't know, man. I don't know how much that figure is. I just know I heard that Kentucky.
That's not official. That was just someone in a space.
All right, no, I've heard from like Andy Staples and people like actual like I've read it and like saw it in their stuff is that Calipari in his contract has no offset. Like you know how for example Jimbo Fisher had the offset where even if he got a new job they still have to pay him $76 million.
Yeah.
Calipari has none of that in his contract. So if he got a new job, they're like free to go, Kentucky. So when saying that, and I could be wrong. Now I could be wrong, but if that's the case. I mean, Kentucky gets out of jail free, and they wanted to fire him, and they didn't have to pay. But it still makes their AD look stupid because he doesn't know. Like it's just a kind of like how it looks to the public type of thing. It makes their AD
they don't
look
have to
dumb.
pay anything. Kentucky doesn't have to pay anything.
Yeah.
Up to 33.375, but I think Arkansas got to pay something.
I would assume so. Now, here's my point, Parlay. I agree with you on that because they're buying him out of that contract.
Yeah, I don't know. I was saying that I was told they had to pay 12, but I'm trying to skim through this.
But while you're skimming through, I'll just break it down for the people one more time just to cover the basics. Calipari last night leaves for Arkansas, and how this all happens mostly is because SMU going to the ACC Musselman wanted to get out of Arkansas. He wanted to go back home to LA. USC wanted a big time coach. They get Muss. They hire Muss. Their coach Andy Enfield goes to SMU for getting ready for the ACC, and it starts off this coaching carousel where now Coach Calipari is going to Arkansas because of the boosting money. He's getting over $5 to $7 million in NIL, Joe. He's getting good money, bro, for his and supposedly like I have people who I know and they were talking saying that recruits were getting in 30 minutes of that like rumor coming out or around then recruits were getting told hey, we're going to Arkansas now. Let's go to Arkansas. Like it happened like that.
Yeah, it doesn't tell you if Arkansas has to pay anything. It just says Kentucky doesn't have to.
I would assume so because of the only reason I would assume they might is just because he was in contract with Kentucky. So they might have some sort of buyout to buy him out of that. It's a different type of buyout than like Kentucky firing him, I think. But no, just massive news last night that broke through. It's seismic shift through the college basketball world. I mean, when you look at it now, I don't know. Who do you think's gonna be going to Kentucky?
Well, you know what everyone's saying, but I highly doubt it. I think it's going to be like Bruce
I don't think it's
Pearl.
Nate Oates. I don't think it's Nate Oates if that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, they all think it's going to be him. But
I don't think it's Nate Oates. I think I've heard a little bit of people saying maybe Tommy Lloyd. I think Scott Drew is the perfect candidate for Kentucky basketball right now.
Billy Donovan.
You want me to tell you my opinion on this? And it's a hot take. I've heard some stuff about Billy Donovan.
And Jay Wright.
He can fall in this basket too.
I told them that, and they said they have no chance. But
well, they don't have no chance. They have no chance. Jay Wright. Those people are right. Jay Wright don't want to deal with NIL anymore. He's a happy broadcaster, commentator. Like that's what people forget.
I agree with that. That was just a name I had.
Okay, yeah. And that's what I'm gonna get at with Billy Donovan. People forget Billy Donovan's coached in the pros for a decade. You really think he wants to come back to college and deal with NIL? Like, the only way I see this is if he gets fired by Chicago and he has to look for a job. That would make sense. But I don't think the Bulls are going to fire him. I think they like him. Huh?
Hey, Arkansas owes nothing.
Oh, wow.
So,
okay. So it's just a split.
That is what MSN articles just said.
So it's just a split.
Or Times record.
If that's the case, yeah. I mean, Kentucky got what they wanted, but they got to get this hire right, because if they don't, bro,
they're done.
Bro, they're blue blood. They're not done. It's Kentucky basketball.
They're going to have to hire somebody else, is what I'm
Yeah, they will, and they always do, is my point. It's like teams like Kentucky, North Carolina, Kansas, they're not going to be done, ever. Like, it's just too much prestige. And there's too much, like, stuff, like, it will take decades and decades of losing for something like that to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I know Kentucky
like that's what
was
it took at UCLA.
How long? Who was at Kentucky before Calipari?
Hubby Smith?
Who?
Was it Hubby Smith? Or am I tripping?
I don't know. I don't know what's that.
Look it up real quick. I'm going to grab a water. I think it's Hubby Smith. I know Pitino was there before Hubby Smith. Or Pitino was in the late 90s, early 2000s. I know that because he won one or two chips there.
Pitino? Yo, so speaking of that, oh, you went to get something. Richard, what do you think about Richard Pitino?
Who was it?
I said, what do you think about Richard Pitino? I know what you're saying, but I'm saying, what do you think about him?
Solid ball coach. He's not ready to coach at a place like Kentucky yet.
I don't know.
You think so?
You gotta take a shot.
Bro, you act like they can't hire a guy like Scott Drew's buyout is $4.5 million.
1 second.
You're getting a top 5, top 10 ball coach for $5 million, plus whatever you got to pay him for his contract.
Billy Gillespie for 2 years.
Is that who it was before? Cal.
Yeah, 07 to 09.
Who was before him?
Tubby Smith.
Okay, that's probably who I meant. Yeah.
and then Rick Pitino for 8 years, and then Adolph Rupp.
Who's there?
That's a sketchy name, but
Yeah.
he's in that Texas Southern movie, Glory Road. I think that's who that is. I'm pretty sure.
But your point earlier is right though,
It's
Parlay.
that time.
They can't, especially with where their program is right now. If they don't want to be sidetracked for 5 years, they need to get this right.
Yeah, no, 100%. They have
Like,
to.
Because Arkansas, as much as you want to say about Cal and the big year 2024, they're gonna be all right. They're gonna be
Yeah.
okay.
Kentucky just got robbed. Well, not really, because
You
they're
can't
set.
say that because
They're
they
set with their
saved $33
buyout,
million.
but the coach kind of got taken in the middle of the night.
It's just the weird how it happened, and it's embarrassing look. It's not a good look.
It's a Calipari move. Let's be
It's
honest.
shisty. It's really shisty.
At 11:30, he made a deal. I was sitting there looking
I
at
couldn't
it.
go to sleep last night.
I couldn't sleep at all. I woke up at 6:30,
All right, nah. I went to sleep after that.
but I didn't go to
just like,
sleep.
Wow.
I didn't stay up that late. I was going around like, yo, what's going on?
It was crazy,
Dude,
bro. Like
There's a space
Calipari
with Big
actually-
Cat with 17.8 thousand people in it. Yeah.
that lets you know how big this. It's a seismic shift in college. The college basketball landscape is changing. And you want me to tell you what's doing this? You want me to be honest with you? What my opinion is?
What's up?
NIL is one thing, but when a team like UConn comes around and dominates out of nowhere like this, things start to change. People start to look around and say, "All right, something's got to give here. Stuff's gonna happen." I definitely think that's a factor. I do, because look how many chips they've won in the past since 2000, even 99. If you give them the 99 because they won the 99 ship.
So yeah,
Crazy.
I like Scott Drew. I think I've been
I
seeing
think
a lot of
he's the
stuff
perfect
on.
candidate for Kentucky, and he'd actually keep them on track to do something good.
On track. What were
Yeah.
they on track for?
Bro, they were a 3 seed in the tournament. And even though they lost to Oakland, you can't tell me that he couldn't get something to go. Plus, Scott Drew can recruit. He
I
got
don't know
Cody
how they
Walter.
were a 3 seed.
You forgot they were a 3 seed?
I said I don't know how they were a
Oh.
3 seed.
Hey, they got ranked higher than Auburn. Uh-huh.
Fuck Auburn.
All right, so just let me get into the quick recap. So I didn't really have that great of a weekend, to be honest, but I did have a solid Sunday, cleaned out pretty good. Hit 3 bets in a row. First was the Red Wings, like I told you. I hit them with the Minnesota Wild to get them at plus money, plus 140. Then I also hit the Yankees and the Cubs. Yankees money line, Cubs plus 1.5. I know you were also on the Cubs yesterday, so we both had the
Yeah,
Cubs.
but the
Cubs,
Braves.
they almost
Braves
got that over
didn't.
for you late too.
I know. I was trying to pull it out, and it was locked.
I didn't want to mention because I'm not trying to be a jinx for you. I'm sorry. I didn't say anything about it because I noticed they got
I
it late.
knew something was up because a dude on Action that I follow, after I put it in, I saw that he had the under, and I was like,
And
I
Chris
fell
Sale
asleep.
showed up. That's what happened.
I fell asleep, and I didn't get to pull it out.
And then I had a gutsy last night bet. Predators and Rangers together for plus 130. Predators win in that game on the shootout. I did miss on the Colorado Avalanche. They got shelled at home last night. But to be honest with you, I can't get mad because the Dallas Stars are actually pussies, parlay. To put it bluntly, they're actually bitch made for what they did. You know what they did? They played the Blackhawks the day before, the worst team in the league. They lost an 8-game winning streak to the Blackhawks because they saved all their energy to make sure they could win that one game in Colorado after losing 3 games to Colorado this year, so they didn't get swept in the season series. What a bunch of pussies! What a bunch of pussies! I was frustrated to say the least. Excuse my language.
Frustrated.
Excuse my language. There's no other way to put it, because that's exactly what happened. They went and played Chicago, saved all their energy, lost to Chicago, saved their energy for the back-to-back to play the next day on the road in Colorado, the worst place to play on the road, and they somehow doesn't make sense. I'm still frustrated, as you can tell.
Yeah, I can definitely tell.
But before we get into the UFC 300, did you have anything you wanted to recap from the weekend?
For the weekend,
Any big
oh,
bets?
no.
Good bets? Okay. Well, then let's go into before we
We got
get into
stuff for tonight, but we're gonna hit this. We're gonna hit a little sneak peek of UFC.
No, I was gonna say before we get into UFC 300, let's cover the national championship.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it's one game versus I got a few fights that we're gonna have to line up, so it's gonna be a minute on the UFC. Yeah, but we're gonna cover UFC both today and Thursday, so we're gonna get more in depth both days. The national championship tonight, UConn and Purdue. I like UConn to cover flat out. To be honest with you, I mean,
looks like a rat for Purdue. You see the money?
I don't think UConn loses.
You see the money for Purdue, and you see where the line's going.
Most situations, I'd agree with you, but they're 11-0 against the spread in the past two tournaments. If there's one team you're gonna roll the dice on in this situation, it's UConn.
Hey, isn't Purdue like 5-0 against the spread this all season?
More data with UConn, brother. More data with UConn.
I mean, they're both.
And actually, I don't know if they are because I don't think they actually no. They covered versus Tennessee. But I also say this: UConn spreads are wider and they're covering, bro. Like it's different. Like this is different levels of ball. Different levels of ball.
I think
Purdue covering 4-point spreads.
Or Donovan, my bad, Donovan Klingen or whatever his name is, way better than Edie. If you guys see the picture when you pull up the video, Edie, I took a picture of him with a bowl cut, and I got a picture of old boy with his nice little edit. So, that tells you who I'm rooting for tonight. Definitely not a bowl cut, kid.
I think Edie, the one thing you got to give him credit for is he's going to probably 40 at night, dog. He's playing every minute of this game tonight. Klingen's not able to do that, which, I mean, you shouldn't play that, but, like, in these type of situations, you have to. Braden Smith is key for them, because if Braden Smith doesn't step up, they can't win versus UConn. They need Lance Jones to hit those threes. They need Fletcher Lawyer to be that three-level scorer that he is for them for Purdue. They need open threes to hit. I mean, Purdue needs a lot to go right to beat this just wagon of a team in UConn. Complete wagon. You have the best, probably, at this point, he's probably the best perimeter defender in college basketball, and Stephon Castle, the freshman. I mean, for UConn, just a on-ball menace. And I think they're going to put him on Braden Smith. And if they do, that's going to limit a lot of what they're able to do with Zach Edey. If he's fighting them through screens properly, staying in foul trouble, keeping it away from Edey in terms of that lob threat. Yeah, it's going to be tough because Klingen, we'll see. If Klingen's able to play Edey straight up one-on-one, UConn's night's going to be easy. If they need to help Klingen for some reason, it's gonna be a little tough. I don't think they're gonna need to help him. They just need to keep Edey off that hook with when he goes to his right hook. That's his shot. When he gets into the lane and he hits his right hook, that's that Edey right shoulder. You gotta bump him off his right shoulder. You can't let him get to his right shoulder, more or less. That's what it comes down to with Zach Edey. But I just see UConn just ready, man. And the thing is, shout out Alabama because they gave them a little push for the most of that game in the Final Four, and then UConn just blitzed them.
Yeah. Dude,
and I was trying to bring that up to say that, as you
plus
being a
11
fan,
and a half.
I'm just saying the reason they're able to cover those things because there's no. Remember that you were telling me about the Traploid of Excellence, about the team that can go on runs, the teams you don't want to see, stuff like that. UConn just is its own trapezoid, brother.
Well, they're right in the middle.
And you're right, but so
no. They were in the circle of death. They don't
means they could get you at any moment with any type of situation. Brother, we saw them in the Elite Eight go on a 30-0 run.
Yeah, Purdue's.
I just don't see. If Purdue wins it, congratulations, Zach Edey. You did something Caitlin Clark couldn't. But at the end of the day, hey, I'm not sending shots. Icon Dawn just took care of business, though. I'm not gonna lie. At the end of the day,
Camilla.
when it, hey, monster, player of the game, We can
Knew
cover that
that.
in a little bit, but after we get through the UFC, but. Woo! Yeah, the national championship tonight. I like that UConn spread. It could be a rat, as Parlay said, but I don't see them not covering in this situation.
No, it's
Especially
a
because
wrap for Purdue.
okay. So you're saying UConn looking good? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I also have a unit and a half on UConn plus 1,200,
To win the
and
natty,
only
right?
one unit on Purdue plus
So
1,200.
you're making money tonight, regardless. But at
Come
least,
on, UConn badly.
yeah. I
If
think it's
Purdue covers, I wouldn't be upset. But if they don't cover, it's a bonus bet. So at the end of the day, it's not gonna matter.
All right, time to get into our first preview this week of the UFC 300. Man, massive card coming up. Huge fights. Let's just get straight into this. Getting straight into it. Ooh, see, the people are starting to notice now. They're smart. The one match I wanted to get straight to, but all right, before I get to that match, let me go through some of the prelims. I do think that Davison Figueiredo in the first early prelim, he's like minus 300. I do think he's pretty much a lock versus Cody Garbrandt. He's probably not worth value unless you're building in a parlay, but I think he's going to be a lock coming up from 125 to 135. That's a good shout right there. I like Money Moicano, but the fact that he's plus 200 to Jalen Turner is kind of crazy. So unless I see some crazy odd movement in the next few days, probably stay off that fight. Especially with some of these other fights. Like, we're not going to be betting on Bobby Green versus Jim Miller. Shout out old heads, but we're not betting on the old head fight. I'm sorry. And then one thing I wanted to give interesting shout to, I don't think Holly Holm will win this fight, but Kayla Harrison being minus 500 odds, cutting down from 155 down to 135 for her first ever fight at 135 pounds is something to take a look at, because that's definitely a lotto on Holly Holm plus 350. To me, if you really want to get a lotto, if you do it by knockout, because she's a kickboxer, like that's what Holly Holm does. If you do it by knockout, because the whole situation would be Kayla Harrison coming on the weight cut, not having her chin up to snuff, getting caught. That's the way Holly Holm would win. She's not going to win a unanimous decision versus Kayla Harrison, because if Kayla Harrison's able to stand up for 15 minutes, she'll just grab her and put her on the ground. So a nice little lotto potentially, something there, depending on how her Kayla Harrison's weight cut goes this week, will be Holly Holm by knockout. That's something to look into. Super lotto, though, because I would expect Kayla Harrison, if she doesn't get finished, she's probably, I hate to say it like that, but like if it goes the distance, Kayla Harrison's winning this fight, and she could also finish Holly Holm on the ground if she gets a submission, gets her in. She's one of the best judokos we've ever seen, multi-time Olympic gold medalist. I love Aljamain Sterling money line versus Calvin Kattar minus 170 in his featherweight debut. He moved up to featherweight. He was one of the best bantamweights that we've seen in recent years. Bantamweight champion, defended it a couple of times. Got knocked out by Sean O'Malley, got caught, yes, but he is an elite grappler, and I think, especially at a higher weight class, he should have a better chin. He says he still feels his speed, so Aljo's probably going to be one of my, going into Thursday, I'll probably have a decision on it, but I think Aljo's probably going to be one of my locks. I'm probably going to have him as one of my locks, yes. But just to cover my favorite fight odds on the card, man. We're betting Charles Oliveira plus money. I know I've been saying it for weeks leading up to this card. He was plus 200 the last time I mentioned. He's already dropped to plus 190. People are starting to see the real. This is a similar situation to what happened with Dustin Poirier and Benoit Saint-Denis at the last pay-per-view in the same division. Now, Arman Tsarukyan is a lot better than Benoit Saint-Denis. I'm not going to lie to you. He is. He's a top 6 lightweight in the world. But one thing that's key, Charles was the best lightweight in the world more recently than Dustin Poirier was. Charles was fighting at a higher level and has beaten Dustin and multiple other lightweights. Charles has only lost to one man recently, and that's Islam Makhachev. Arman Tsarukyan, they say he could be the next Islam Makhachev. You're going to have to prove it. With striking with Charles, going and grappling with Charles Oliveira, the man who has the most submissions in the UFC, in the whole company.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. That might just be a straight bet. I don't know if we'll parlay it because we might keep it separate, but I do love Charles Oliveira plus money. Moving to the probably the most popular fight on the card will be Justin Gaethje, Max Holloway, BMF title, banger. That's what that is, banger. That's what that fight's gonna be, and I know I think I gave a preview that I was leaning Max Holloway because I love his weight cut and the way he cut weight, leaning into 155 for the first time in a while. But Gaethje's a different animal, man. Gaethje might actually crush him. So that might be a stay off in the end of it, to be honest with you. It might end up being a stay off. We might have to get more late week reads on that fight. Just because Max could get beat up and cross. Like, Max is the type where you're not going to finish him because he's like, his chin's unbreakable. But you're going to have to beat the you-know-what out of him. You're going to have to beat the you-know-what out of him. And it's been done before to where people have beaten the you-know-what out of him. And he didn't get finished, but he did not win the fight, obviously. Hey, brother, we're not betting on Zaylee Wang. And I'm being serious. That fight's a stay off. She's going to win the fight, but why are we betting now minus 525? That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. If you want to use it as a parlay builder, more than merrier, bro. Go ahead, but we're not betting that fight. And honestly, I really think Jamal Hill in the main event can chin Alex Pereira. I think it could happen. I know everyone thinks Pereira is the big star, but Jamal Hill does have the style that could kind of mess with him a little bit. He can grapple a little bit. He has really good striking. He's a dog. He's going to check leg kicks because Alex Pereira is a leg kick machine. That fight odds, that's a fight I want to watch the line movement going into because I'm leaning Jamal Hill right now at plus money, but I really want to wait and see just because that fight could go either way. I know Jamal Hill is going to be the better grappler, but, I mean, you're looking at a kickboxing world champion, Alex Pereira. So, really interesting UFC card. My main lock so far is probably Aljamain Sterling on the prelims, but we're going to keep going. I'm definitely taking Charles Oliveira. I just don't know if I'm going to combine those two yet, but we're looking at that on going into Thursday. But just an exciting card parlay, man.
Yeah, I'll have more bets for UFC on Thursday when them articles drop.
So, moving into it, you ready to look into our stuff for today?
Of course I am.
I'll let you start off, partner.
All right. I'm going with the hot team. I'm taking a hot hand here. Let me pull it up. Sorry, I need to pull it up. I need to see the pictures. But I am going with the Milwaukee Brewers versus Cincinnati Reds. Brewers are away, but I don't think that matters today. They got 21% of the bets on the money line, 91% of the money. That's a 70% differential. That's insane, and that's exactly what we want. For the minus 1.5 run line, I'm not really – I just see 50-50, so I'm not going to touch that. But I do like Milwaukee today with the Ashby, left-hander pitcher, getting his first start today, looks like. Going against a righty with a 3 ERA, but I'm not really worried about that because I don't think the Reds can hit like that, honestly. With half their lineup being under 200, yeah, more than half their lineup being under 200, 70%. 1, 2, 3. Oh, 3 guys under 300, not 70%. But
hey, that Spencer Steer guy hitting hard though this year so far.
Yeah, Steer's at 406, but India's 242. Encarnacion 154. DH is only hitting 182. Dela Cruz is not doing bad at 242. Fairchild 375.
Hey, let me ask you a
third baseman's .083. That's terrible.
Wait, actually, before I ask you this odds question, you have another team with this part in a parlay with this, right? Or is it straight?
Nah, it's a straight.
Oh, okay, okay. The reason why I asked because I've been meaning to ask you this, and especially I keep your teams always be getting these bad things happening to them. But so when it comes to the Braves and Spencer Strider's injury now with his pretty
I
much
was against the Braves this weekend. Talk about disappointment on the first 2 days. Like, dude, I was like, all right, bet. I won something finally, and then just boom, and I'm like, oh.
bro, Max Fried gave up 6 runs in the first inning, and they still lost the Diamondbacks.
I don't understand how.
So that's where I was getting to. This is where I was getting to because this is actually
Because the
interesting.
Braves hit a bomb at the end of the game, no matter what.
When it comes to the Braves, what's your thoughts on the fact that they're going to be favored by like minus 200 almost every game the rest of this year, but their rotation and their pitching is just not there this year compared to other years? Isn't that the case, right?
Yeah, I'd rather them fizzle out right now and then just get back up closer to time. But if we're playing
They're hitting everything.
Julio Teheran tonight, is coming back to the A. I think we're good because fuck him, bro. I hate him. He used to be our ace back in the day, but
oh yeah, they're showing it right now. Yeah, I'm looking at his stats.
he was our ace back in the day for like a long time.
2013, 2014, 2015, 2016,
16, 17, 18.
2019, and then y'all sent them to the Angels.
Yep, and then he sucked.
Yeah, he sucked. But here's the thing. This is a
He
bigger
started to
question.
suck though at the end, didn't he?
This is a bigger question about the Braves. Don't you think there's something going on in that organization with their pitching prospects that clearly is showing that like all of them are
Like
either
injured
overthrowing
guys?
their shoulders? Yes, bro.
Like it's like Ballard, bro. They're both like injury prone people.
Soroka, before he got sent to the White Sox. Ian Anderson still in the minors.
He
Kyle
got
Wright
hurt a
shipped
lot,
out.
bro. Soroka was supposed to be really good.
All these 3 were draft picks, high draft picks.
I know.
And it's like, bro. And then you look at it. Then Spencer Strider
Well,
started to fall.
we got Alex, so everything's all good.
You say that, but that doesn't help the pitching currently.
Our GM,
Yeah, no, he didn't.
He's went and made
do
deals.
anything.
he's made
You
a
talking
couple.
about Lopez and the Sale, the old
Yeah.
heads?
We got Sale.
They're not aces.
Well, we didn't know
We
we
need
were
Max
going to
Fried
lose.
to get back into his
We didn't
real
know
life.
we were going to lose Strider like second week of the season. So
But that gets back to my main point. He had an injury history at Clemson. He had taught TJ at Clemson. Now he's probably gonna have to get, knock on wood, hopefully not, but you have to get TJ again.
yeah, hopefully not. He's on 11 day, right?
I don't know, but it's not looking good. It's not looking good. It looks like it's his UCL. He's going to get checked out by this UCL specialist, and they're going to take a look in his arm. And
That's
see
what I need to go to. I can't even throw 3 pitches without my arm going out.
That's
Or
crazy. That's
3
not
balls, like not even 3 pitches, just like 3 balls.
good. Bro,
That's how bad I threw it out in like the 8th grade. Yeah, I used to be able to chunk that thing,
bro.
and then one day it just went, and it was gone. And now I have to throw like this,
Underarm.
like sidearm,
Like you're a reliever.
and it don't work.
He's
You
like, I
can't-
get no movement on my pitches, man.
It's not pitch; it's just throwing the ball. Like I can't throw. I can't throw from the outfield, bro.
Oh damn.
Without throwing with the sidearm.
Damn.
More than 3
You need
balls.
to go get that looked out, bro.
Bro, I was in like 11th grade, and I couldn't throw from the outfield anymore. And I was like, I couldn't throw from the outfield to second more than 10 times. And I was like, yeah, this is not working out.
Jeez, parlay. That's terrible, man. You gotta get that looked at.
Like, how can you not throw it? I'm like, I don't know. I used to be able to.
Yeah. But no, I did want to ask you about that because I think the Braves are going to be a very interesting topic for betting odds for the rest of the season, just because how much they're going to be favorited by, and then also like there's going to be a couple lotto opportunities on the Braves from time to time this year.
Bro, there were crazy lotto opportunities this weekend. I had
The Diamondbacks weren't the team, but I might bet them today. You know where
Nah,
they're playing, right?
not the Mets. The Mets.
The Diamondbacks?
Oh, the Diamondbacks versus the
Yeah, no, I
Rockies.
said the Diamondbacks because they're going to Coors Field. They're going to Colorado, baby.
They hit the ball a bunch there.
Zach Gallen's pitching though.
You want to know what's something really interesting to me? Which I don't think
What?
this is actually right. But the Chicago White Sox, it says the line opened at minus 10,000, and now it's at plus 220. No way.
So do you put like a crazy bet on the White Sox, who are probably going to be the worst team in the league this year? By the way, I do have the Guardians.
That pitcher sucked his first time out.
Who? McKenzie?
McKenzie, 10.8 ERA.
You want me to be honest with you? They're not the one. The White Sox are playing a bullpen game because they're sitting out.
White Sox suck.
They do.
Their minor league's not bad. Their minor league's down the street.
But their actual team. And brother, the Guardians
They
got.
might have brought up all the minor league guys. That's probably why they suck.
But the Guardians got a really solid lineup for hitting. Like you go from Kwan to Jimenez to Ramirez to Naylor. Like they got some hitters
Like,
on their lineup.
what's his name for the Pirates? O'Neal Cruz.
Oh, that's that shortstop.
He had a
6'7".
terrible game in Charlotte, and I was there. I let him know.
You're terrible, man. He's a kid. He's younger than you. He's younger
Number
than you.
one prospect, my ass.
He proved you wrong.
Yeah, that was like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
3 years ago, probably.
But I have the Guardians in a small two-team parlay with the Dodgers tonight. I think the Dodgers bounce back from their loss to the Cubs in that series. They're going to play Minnesota today, which, if you really want to talk about bad starts, Bailey O'Dur gave up 8 earned runs in an inning and 4 outs work to the Kansas City Royals when they lost 11-0 to them. So
Who are you talking about?
The Twins pitcher Bailey O'Dur. He
Okay,
gave
okay.
up 8 earned runs in an inning, and pretty much he didn't make it out the second inning. He went 4 outs, got hit 8 runs, has an ERA of 54 right now.
Yeah, that's. You taking the Dodgers?
Yeah,
I was about to say, there ain't no way I'm touching Minnesota.
now I'm taking the Dodgers. Yeah, the Minnesota has proven to me they can't hit when it matters most. Their lineup clearly.
What do you think about Philly and St. Louis? I already have a bet
Scary
on
game.
this.
Scary game for me. You want me to tell you why, in my opinion, it's kind of scary?
Money got fucked up now, but
Well, not even just that. I think this is the type of game that, because Mike Moustakas, not like necessarily the Cardinals' ace, but he's one of their better pitchers. And Spencer Turnbull, he had a good showing versus the Reds when he pitched 5 innings for them, 5 innings, 1 earned run, 3 hits for the Phillies. But at the end of the day,
yeah, 0.00 ERA. That looks pretty good. I don't think that's right.
No. What I'm getting at is, it could be down. It could have been an unearned run. I don't know. But what I'm getting at is, this is the back end of Philly's rotation. This is the front end of the Cardinals' rotation generally. So that makes me kind of think, because like if I'm not mistaken, let me pull this up. Yeah, the opening day. You know how the Dodgers technically played in Korea, so that was their first game. Opening day for the Cardinals starter was Mike Moustakas. So yeah, he is their best pitcher, I guess, or their one of their top 2. You don't start him on opening day for your team on the road and I think he made the home opener start too. I might be wrong on that part, but I know he made the first one on the road. So that's something that's interesting.
He's 1-1.
Yeah. So I might necessarily probably slightly lean to Cardinals here, but the Eclipse is about to happen.
Soon.
Okay. No, but yeah, Cardinals is definitely something I'd probably lean in that situation. But I'm not betting that game personally. I do looking at the late games though. I'm interested in the Diamondbacks. I think that the Giants should beat the you know what out of the Commanders. I said Commanders. Force a habit. The Nationals.
Commanders.
Force a habit. The Nationals. Oh, Blake Snell's making his season debut tonight for the Giants.
Interesting.
That's a definite spot I might take. A nice Diamondbacks Giants parlay to make it plus money.
I like it. You said Giants and who?
Diamondbacks going to Coors Field. Zach Gallen on the mound.
I like
It's
it.
because it's the start of the rotations getting restarted at the top. So like it's a good day to bet baseball because this is when you really get your best options.
I'm down with it, brother. Ooh, ooh.
And then before we get out of here, I'm the NHL guy, and we haven't even covered the NHL for tonight yet. So
Is there NHL tonight?
it's Monday. There should be at least a couple games. Let's put in this Diamondbacks play. I like it. I'm better lock it in right now, actually.
There's only 2 games.
All right, so I don't got much to cover. Yeah, let me get this in. Because that seems like a solid bet. Yeah, I guess at the plus 131. That seems like a very, very solid bet. I'm not going to lie to you. All right, so yeah, we have those in. But yeah, moving on to the NHL for tonight. We have 2 games. Sorry about that.
You said Diamondbacks.
Diamondbacks and the Giants, because, the Nationals. No.
It's an even year, too. The Giants are supposed to be good.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Except they showed that they broke that stat in 2021, right? When they won their franchise record games. They didn't win the title, but no. But tonight's games, now that you mentioned it, are 2 big games, especially for the playoffs. You have Toronto and Pittsburgh, and to be honest with you, I'm not gonna lie. I might bet. I'm not. I don't know if I'll necessarily bet it, but if I'm giving a lean, because I think I like the MLB action tonight slightly more. Pittsburgh is definitely a good shout. They're fighting for a playoff spot. I mean, so is my Capitals, but Pittsburgh going to Toronto, I feel like this is the type of game Pittsburgh could walk into Toronto and punch them in the mouth and win that game. I genuinely feel like that could happen. Toronto is a wagon, don't get me wrong. They play really good fundamental hockey, but it's the type of game where Pittsburgh could walk in there and just go punch them in the mouth. If you look at the team Pittsburgh has beaten in the past 4 games on this quest to get back where they are, they beat the Rangers, they beat the Devils, they beat the Capitals, and they beat the Lightning. All monster solid rosters in the East. So why can't they beat Toronto? So if I have a lean in that game, the reason why I'm bringing it is Pittsburgh's plus money. So that might be a decent shot. In the Canucks,
Let me ask you something about that game.
What's up?
Sidney Crosby to score plus 165, and
Usually,
Evgeny Malkin.
You talking about Evgeny Malkin?
Evgeny Malkin.
But one of them is probably scoring tonight for sure, because that's literally been the heartbeat of this comeback the past 4 games. Has been those 2 driving it. If you look at Crosby in each of he has a goal. Then he didn't score in the game before. Then he had back-to-back 2-goal games. So he has 5 goals in his last 4 games. Which one of those 4 games he didn't score in? So he's literally willing them through this situation right now. It's him. Evgeny Malkin is playing well. Letang on the defense is really distributing the puck pretty well. So yeah, if you're gonna bet a goal scorer, bet one of those 2 for tonight, because one of them should score.
So Sidney Crosby have at least 1 goal, and Evgeny Malkin will have at least 1 point, plus 266.
That's not a bad shout. That's not a bad shout at all. Yeah, that's not a bad shout. My books the book I use won't let me combine those, so I can't really bet that. But that is a good shout.
Offshore.
You feeling offshore today? And then to cover the last game, Vegas and Vancouver, I honestly don't really have a lean in this game because I think Vegas. All right, I have a lean then. I think Vegas is gonna win, but it's not something you'd want to bet on, in my opinion. This is a game I'd say stay off. There's key pieces out for Vegas tonight, which Vegas needs this game, but Vancouver could find a way to win it. Vancouver's clearly still slumping into the playoffs is my point. Winning every other game, not really winning consistently. Vegas gets their couple streaks and they'll lose here and there. They had a colossal collapse over the weekend where they were up 4-1 in the third period and they somehow lost that game 7-4. Insane. Crazy. They scored 6 goals in 13 minutes ago, Coyote. He was crazy. But I'd lean Vegas, but Vancouver could definitely win. That's why I'd stay off. It's a closer game than the Toronto game, in my opinion. Much closer game. But yeah, I mean, the main thing tonight, shout out the national championship. Go UConn Huskies. We're cheering for UConn, probably. That's the big game tonight. That's the one that's really going to hit. Did you have anything else, Parlay?
What do you think about the over in Diamondbacks game?
It's Coors Field, brother. Could always happen. It could always happen. It's literally the place. If you're betting any ballpark for the over, it's that one. Now we've gotten hit on it before, and they had not gone over for sure. But if there's any ballpark for a place to go over,
money looks good today.
Okay. Hopefully it's the.
I'm gonna
D-backs
add
crushing.
that to your parlay here.
Hopefully it's the D-backs crushing and not the Rockies.
So, and then what was the other team you said?
Just San Francisco Giants. Blake Snell's debut.
Oh man.
Last game of the night.
All right. Plus 520.
That's not bad. That's not.
Diamondbacks, Giants, Brewers plus 1.5 and over 10.5.
The over's at 10.5. Jesus, Coors Field. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. All right.
But with that being said, that's my brother Parlay.
That's Matt.
And we the Gritty Gamblers, man. We'll see you on Thursday with a more in-depth breakdown of the UFC 300 card, as well as a highlight from the weekend slate. So it's gonna be a great time. See y'all on Thursday, man.
Yeah, I would definitely knock you out in an octagon. That's for sure.
You might get leg kicked and say, "I don't want this fight no more."
Nah, a little blood ain't never scared me. Blood makes me.
Brother, who said your leg is gonna be bleeding? It's gonna be broken when you get kicked hard enough.
It's gotta bleed. Oh wait, you're right. I don't bleed. I'm a machine.
He thinks he's Hulk Hogan now. You're not at WrestleMania, buddy. That was last night.
Hey, Rhea Ripley.
Rhea bloody Ripley.
If I bet I could change the odds for every bookmaker in the country.
Tell them to bring me my money.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.